Hello everyone and welcome to Era Military Collectibles. As you can tell, we're running off a new camera, so the quality is a bit better but the sound is a bit bad. But we can't have everything at the moment, but we are back to normal, shall we say, for a while. So let's just hope that people start coming in. I did have it advertised and things like that. There we go, notification has gone out. So let's just give it a few minutes before people start coming in. I know Stan won't make it tonight because I was chatting to him earlier on the phone. He was doing some bits and pieces. Nick, hello, how are you? Good evening. Welcome to the rescheduled live stream due to inconvenience. Basically, Dominion of Quebec. Hello, how are you? Basically, what happened was there's an integrated web camera on my actual laptop. For some reason, that's not working, so I have to bring it in to get it repaired. But I got an external laptop or external camera for backup anymore in case something goes wrong, like what happened. I know the sound is a bit bad, but the quality of the picture is a bit better. So we'll just work with what we're given. Andrew Johnston, hello, how are you? How are you, Andrew? I know I gave you a text earlier on to say we were here. I hope you're doing well. I know you were a bit disappointed that the live stream the other day night wasn't working. So I hope the guys that were disappointed, Dave, Military Collectibles, these lads, I hope they don't come in. I hope they turn up. I'll just send Dave a message actually. Make sure he's still around. See if he's still here. No. So how's everyone's weekend been? My MRT, good evening from my bunker in Sweden. Nice to be here. Hello, how are you? Welcome to Ireland. Is the sound very bad, guys? Can anyone tell me? Because I'm happy with the picture, but the sound quality I'm not 100% sure with, and I've been messing about with it to try and improve it, but I can't seem to sort it. So it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it. Hello, Jake. How are you? Welcome to the evening's festivities. I actually have the stuff that Dave gave me still here in a bag. It doesn't sound that bad. Okay, perfect. I actually have the stuff that Dave gave me here still in my bag. I haven't unpacked it from doing the video. And I have the ration pack as well, which is actually quite nice. So I'm going to have to either order a refill for that or I'll figure out what to do with it. Bit ropey but audible. Okay, perfect, no problem. So I'm happy with the quality of the sound, or of the picture, but the sound is bad, so we'll have to figure out that maybe. As I said, this is sound. The camera is backup. Because what actually happened was the integrated camera that is in my laptop, they did not want to work. Wouldn't turn on or stuff like that. I've tried everything and anything to get it work. So my laptop tomorrow is going into the computer place to get them to sort it. But I have bought an external HD camera. And it's supposed to have a built-in mic for backup in case anything goes wrong. So we'll just have to bear with it, guys. I hope everything is okay. So, a couple of things have happened over the week. One step closer to getting over to England to the Living History UK Festival that is on in April 8th, 9th and 10th in Chiltern Open Air Museum. I hope I will be there, so I hope if any of you can get there to say hello. Say hello. Don't be afraid to drop in. I'm not sure the prices and stuff like that. I must ask Steve about what's the story with things like that. Evening Military Collectibles. Hello, how are you? The collection, or what's happened in relation to the collection, is I've been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing. So there is some new stuff arriving. There's an awful lot of banner stuff arriving, and there is an awful lot of Irish stuff arriving that we will be covering from now on. Hey, he said it right. Cheltenham, right? But yeah, so that's what's happening. And tonight's live stream is literally just have a laugh, a joke, a bit of crack. Hope everyone pops in that should be popping in. I sent Dave a message, but he hasn't showed up yet. Oh, he's there. Because I know he was a bit disappointed with the live stream not working the last time. So yeah. What have I been up to all week? All week I have been working on my house pretty much, and working in general. We have moved stuff out of. Oh, excuse me. It's crack YouTube. We have been moving stuff out of here because we're in the process of making the next big move and having everything ready to go. As you can see, I have my telly behind me, which is a new fixture that will be coming into the new man cave with us. So that's pretty much it. While I was cleaning out, I do have them. I left them out for the live stream on Friday, but unfortunately we did not materialize. I like finding personal items for soldiers and stuff like that. And if most of you know, I collect Vietnam era things as well. Mainly Australian, but I do have American stuff. So, the first thing I found, well, I didn't find, I knew I had it, but I just had to put away. And then, you know, when you're going through bits and pieces, and you find things again, and you're like going, oh yeah, and you start experimenting, and you go, that's quite interesting. I forgot I had that. Is, if I can remember how to get the thing to open, but it's alright anyway. It's a Kodak 60s video camera. Movie camera it's called, and it's made in Canada, believe it or not, and it's the M4. Now this handle thing used to come down, if I can remember, but I don't want to break it or snap it. And I can't remember how you actually put the film in it, but there's a big film that fits inside it. And then this is this switch here on top is your zoom in and your zoom out, which is funny when you think of it. So yeah, so there's a little lock. So you open the lock and then you press your zoom in and your zoom out for your movie, which I think is very cool. I like, as I said, I like collecting personal items, little things that guys would have had in their pockets, personal items, stuff like that. The next thing I got, now somebody was telling me you can still get a friend of mine that's into photography said you can still get films for this, so I hope you can. But what it is it's a little Olympus Trap 35 camera. So these are just little things that seems like it's working. These are just little things that the guys would have had in their webbing or in their pockets or in camp. Just little personal items, and I really like collecting things like this, and I think they're very, very interesting. And some other little bits and pieces I found is just a regular little plastic soap dish. You could bring this all the way up until the 80s. But inside of it is a little pack of chiclets. With the chiclets still inside in it. So yeah, so I found them. And then we have a pair of the famous sunglasses. These are 1972. Dated there on the pack. But they're not exactly the most Ray-Bandy type things. Although I suppose you do see fashion to come around every now and again. But yeah. Highway to the danger zone. The ears aren't very comfortable on them. And if you notice with the ears, there's like this wire thing that you can just fix them to whatever you want. Sorry guys for busting your eardrums there with my singing of Highway to the Danger Zone. Highway to the what else did I find? So here we have a box for magazines. Magazine assembly, 7 each, 7.62 A1 magazines. Colt Industries, MFG, Hartford, Connecticut, USA. There you go. And then some guys actually still remember these. We weren't issued these, but they were still around the place. Yeah, they're the Goggles Sun Wind and Dust, one pair lens, one clear lens, one neutral grey. In an unissued, these are unissued, still in a box. I can't remember this. If any of you remember Black Hawk Down and things like that, you see the guys with them on their helmets, or even in the first Gulf War, guys had them on their helmets. And I believe an awful lot of the English guys would acquire them, especially the armoured core type guys, would acquire them for their helmets while they were riding around in their scimitars and their things like that. I don't know, is there a date on these? Could you find a date on these? Oh, you can. These are actually 1974 pair. There's just a date just here now. Just in there. So yeah, I'm not going to sing Highway to the Danger Zone again now, but I'm putting away these ones because I don't want you all to leave the live stream. I see there's questions coming up there, so I'll get back to them now in a minute. And then I found a mess tin. I did a video on this before, I believe. I actually have a Second World War version of this as well, but this one is my 1967 version, if you can see the date there in the middle. No. So, where have we gone? Sorry guys, I'm just going to scroll through the questions here to see what I've missed. Andrew, hi. David, nice camera. Yeah, I actually got that in a deal with a fella. He was getting out of the collection. I bought a rake of a lot. I actually have a radio that I got off him as well, a 77 set. And I have a PRC6 as well that I got off him. That I must do videos on. I have done the 77 set, but I'm not happy with it. I can't remember if I've done this. I must redo it. But yeah, I got that camera off him, and I like those cameras. Cool looking camera. Yeah, they are cool. I believe you can still get film for the Olympus type one. So I might get a film for it and take a few pictures and see what happens. David Bailey used to advertise that camera. Who's he? David Bailey. David Bailey. The name sounds familiar, but I can't place him. Jim, welcome. Hello, Jim. I haven't seen you. Just popped in out and over. Been looking for some Bundeswehr binoculars. They are quite pricey though. I haven't. The only binoculars I have a pair of Canons that are here that were hand-me-downs from my late father, wherever he got them, and I have two pairs of World War II binoculars. Stan gave me one, and I can't remember where I got the other one. Picked up the other one in a car boot sale or something, I think. Or did Dave give it to me? I'm not sure. I apologize if somebody did give it to me. But I do have two pairs of Was it Andrew even gave it to me? Can't remember, but I do have 2 pairs of World War II binoculars. I don't have Bundeswehr ones. Um, that's disgusting though. Actually, I must remember where I got them binoculars. Where have we gone? Cool looking camera. Been looking for those sunglasses. Will come back. Yeah, they're like everything else. History will repeat itself. Look at Ukraine. Um, got a 40s period camera from an old junk shop. Don't work, but looks the part. It was only fiber. Yeah, these little bits and pieces when you're at a collection, like even that. I know it's a civil defence gas mask, but if you're doing like a home front or a home guard display or something, just have that on your table. It's just for people to talk about. Um, the likes of where did I put the ration pack? The likes of the ration pack. Even if you don't have, even if you're not eating it, you just have it open and the contents thrown over a table or something for the general public to walk past. These are the things that bring your impression or your portrayal, or even if you're just standing at a table talking to people about stuff. Um, this is what brings a the better approach than some people. Have you applied? Huh? Have you? Have I applied to the voice yet? Off from my highway to the danger zone? No, I don't think I'll go that way. I want your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Um, Kenny Rebel. Did you ever see? There's actually a meme going around. I think he's a real pilot, but he actually in a G force turn is sings that highway to the danger zone. It's very good. If anybody can find it. Uh, where have we gone? Uh, Kenny Rebel. They're all laughing at Kenny Rebel. Uh, the goggles we were never issued. Those ones, but we had to buy them from the PX. Ah, okay. Or you just swipe them as well, which normally helps. That's what we used to do. Sorry, acquire stuff or relocate items. We never stole anything. Uh, Dripping. I got a Bundeswehr mess set from my Panzer Grenadier. Loadout. You can cook 2 breakfast in a little pan perfectly. Very good. I do have a mess tin, but Jim reckons it's Polish. That it's not actually German, but it's up there somewhere. Uh, some very nice name kit. Yeah, I do. I do like the small little bits and pieces of name items and general stuff. Like I do. There's other bits and pieces there that I have, which you don't really see these very often. They're the folding bladder, and it's a 5 quart one. They came out later in the war, I believe. So I have one of them. Um, and then I have what's known as a PX take home, which is just like a little mat or a cloth that they would have made. But this is modern made, but it's the same idea. It's modern stitching. Um, Jim Timber, nah, the binos weren't from me. Okay, I don't know who I got the second pair of binos from then. I know I got a pair from Stan. Could be Dave actually. Uh, I was rocking some aviators in the Cold War museum I went to. BWMers are very useful. I got pot to boil water to tea or coffee. Bundeswehr. Great cooking set. Yeah, I have a cooking set. 1 second there, guys. I actually have this one. Now, I don't think it is Bundeswehr, and I don't think it is East German, and I don't think it is World War II. But I don't know if you can make it out. There at the bottom is like a little stamp. Focus, focus, focus. But I reckon it's Polish. There's actually a better stamp here at the top. And you can actually see whoever owned it scraped his initials there in the front. PW. But yeah, it's a nice little thing to have. So we have a top and a bottom. There's a stamp there now as well, I never noticed. But I think it's Polish anyway. But look, and you can see actually where it's been out in the sun, because the sun has faded the paint. These are all items that I found, or that I know I had them, but you know when you put stuff away and you can't remember where you put them. Stuff that I had for picked up in trades and stuff like that. Now I have this as well. Now I don't know if people can help me. If you had now, this is a, I think it's 52 dated. I'm not sure. There is somewhere to find a date on it. But as you can see, the strap on the back of it is very, very badly done. 68 I see here. I thought I'd seen a stamp on this. But, right, this is the same-ish type, I believe, as the World War II ones. No, I'm not 100% sure. But the World War II ones I was looking at, this valve is different on the front. See where this is protruding? Whereas the other one it's flat, and some of them are inverted, if you get me, the valve. Is there even a date on the canister? No, there's no date even on the canister. That would help me. No, there is a date here. It's Arvon 1252. So I don't know if that means the manufacturer and the date of issue or the date of stamp. I know it's. I'm almost 100% it's the same as the World War II variant, but this is different. Whereas the World War II ones, this is an inverted valve, not an extra, not protruding valve like that. But yeah, I don't know much about this gas mask. Oh, where have we gone? Yes, Grey Cookie said you are cutting out sound-wise. Oh, sorry, Dave. I'd have to sit closer to the mic maybe because the camera's not the best. Just bought Kenmere Jagger 4 Bergen for $6.50 on eBay. This is one used a lot by 5th Infantry Brigade during the Falklands. Is that the blue one? I know they had a blue one. Was that 5th Infantry or I thought it was the Commandos had the blue one? Was using the bottle set and cook set great kit. Anti-gas light. Probably a Dutch issue. Or issue Rizzy. Okay. Jake, it's a bargain. Jake. Handy old one. Use mine for bringing stuff up and down from college. What a bargain, Jake. I once met an American Phantom pilot who flew over Vietnam here in Poland as his son was married to a Polish girl. Small world. That mess tin looks like a Polish one to me. Yeah, I think it is Polish. But yeah, we'll figure out what to do with it. Jim, you don't collect Polish stuff, do you? If you do, I can send it back to you. Might look good for your collection. Yeah, the blue one, definitely a bargain. Yeah, Falkland stuff is starting to get popular because I believe the anniversary is coming up soon, isn't it? Of the Falkland stuff, because I've seen an awful lot of the 58 pattern stuff. 58 pattern and 68 pattern with these unscrupulous dealers that you see on eBay are now marking everything as Falklands Vintage Rare, Falklands Vintage Rare, Falklands Vintage Rare, to try and, because the anniversary of the Falklands is coming up, just like they did with D-Day, just like they did with everything. They always gear the stuff. And watch, there's going to be stuff coming out of the friggin' woodwork that you'll see of Falklands kit coming up. Like I was actually talking to Jake about it, going over to the festival, because it is the anniversary to do Falklands stuff, to do a Falklands impression. But then again, I'm doing that banner from the late 70s, early 80s, so it wouldn't make much of a difference. All I'd have to do is just either have a Welsh Guards beret on, or a Scots Guards, or a para, or well, no, paras are a bit different. Royal Marine Commandos maybe, or something, I don't know. We'd have to work it out. But yeah, everything now is going to be bloody mental. Para helmet with the rare cover on it, 600. Meanwhile, 58 with everything going, 9999. Yeah, I got a full set of 58 pattern webbing for €15 with rucksack. Or £15 with rucksack. Yeah, 58 pattern stuff is very, very cheap because there's buckets of it around the place. But just watch this space with the Falklands anniversary this year. Kenny said it there, Falklands 40th anniversary. You will see stuff get marked on eBay and all these sites. Excuse me, I need a cup of tea. You will see all this stuff now on friggin' these sites being marked as rare Falklands item, rare this, rare that. And it's not rare. It's not. Jake, does yours have a waist harness? Mine seems to be missing it. We're in about the backpacks. So both of them, Polly. The medicine is the mess tin is a Menezaka Z2331. Yeah, my Polish isn't the best, but there you go. If you want it, Jim, I'll send it to you. Let me know. Throw me an email or a message or something, and I don't have. Well, I do have. I have my. It's here. I have my Roge Kifka, World War II cap that Jim kindly sent me, because this is a project. This is going to be a long-term project, but this is a project because I don't believe the Polish lads at the start of the Second World War get enough credit. So we will be doing a Polish impression, or Roga Kifka. I know I'm not 100% sure, but it means corners, because if you look at the top of the hat, you see all these different corners. Roga Kifka, I think is how it's pronounced. It's missing it sadly, but seems they were cut off a lot. Yeah, we used to do it as well. We cut the way we'd actually wear the chest ones for some reason, but we cut the waist ones off because with the webbing and stuff, they would rub off your webbing and give you a webbing burn. You said that perfect. Have froth them. Who wants this military collectible? Show me the front of that. There you go. There's the front. And that's a side profile. Which did I say perfect, Jim? The Rogativka? Rogativka. There we go. Glad you like that. I do like that. It's actually quite warm. I was wearing it the other day when I was doing stuff in the garden, and it's windy and raining and stuff here in Ireland as always. But because it is wool or serge or whatever it is made of, it's quite warm, so which is very good. I think it's Dutch. I don't know what it is, lads. It could be a reissue. I'm not sure, but there is more markings on this bit here. There is very little marking on it. The size L. There's an L mark there on it for the size. But yeah. So that's my Roga. Where have we got? Rogativka. Could be a Canadian version. It could be a Canadian version. I'm not sure. The manufacturer is definitely Arvin. AVON. Avon. AVON is, and it's 12, and the mark underneath it then is 1252. And that's the only stamp that I can find on it. Oh yeah, you can unbuckle it and wear it like a deputy. It becomes it's like the Polish version of a call blimey hat. Well, that would be very good for your ears and stuff. Call blimey. But yeah, there you go. And it does give you protection on your neck and stuff. That's the Rogativka. Yeah, Arvin. I can't remember. I don't know who made my M6. Where have we gone? Could be Canadian version. You can. Oh, I read that one. Arvin. My M6 is Arvin 2. Arvin made the M6 and S10s. Cheers. There are 6 marks of the light respirator. Yours is a Mark 3. The raised section on the front is for a mic and can be screwed into it. Oh, okay. The actual mic is rarely found. Think it's the mask that's compatible with the radio. Oh, very cool. So is it World War II vintage then, or is it later? Because there is actually, now that you mention it, there is actually a thread on that raised piece. What he said. Rifle Green, hello, welcome. We haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're keeping well. That's what Irvin FM2 came mask. What he said. Very cool, lads. Thanks for the old research. Now I must put my Rogativka away. Seeing as Jim with me turn it into a call blimey hat. I hope you're all keeping well, actually. Rifle Green, welcome. You're more than welcome to come. I know you've been busy doing some stuff. Glad to see you back. Hope you're keeping well. No, there's my Rogativka put back together. No. I actually like the story about the whole Sergeant Major and the call blimey caps, whereas they were made and some Sergeant Major literally went, call blimey, what the bloody hell is that? Look, when he first spotted them. But yeah, I do actually have a bag for that mask somewhere. 1 second, I try and find the bag. No, the bag for it is not handy at the minute, but I will get it out again for that gas mask. What do you use as a wash roll or hold all, if you know what the lads in the Defence Forces used before that? We used to use oh what you call them? A bandolier. If we could get our hands on a bandolier, we would use a bandolier as a wash roll. We were never issued a wash kit in the actual Defence Forces. We were issued the contents for a. We were issued a what we used to call a horsehair toothbrush, which is a big toothbrush about that long, and we were issued a straight edge razor, or no, a safety razor, the ones you screw off the handle, put the blade on it, and we were issued a wobbler, shaving brush, and that was the only things that I remember we were issued. We were issued a comb and a brush, a hairbrush. Do I still have the hairbrush? Hairbrush was pretty much the same as that, which is the World War II wash version. Yeah, except ours were square. And these are very good brushes, lads, believe it or not. Horse brushes are also known as. How did I carry my ones? I carried mine in a. If I had a bandolier, I would have used the bandolier, but I remember carrying mine in like a canvas money bag at the time, like a mess tin bag type thing. You'd see the World War II guys having, but I had the tailor make mine when it was made from the company tailor or the barrack tailor made mine, and he made it out of a green sheet, just a square bag, and with a string on the top of it, like baling twine near the butcher or butcher's twine, and that's what I had as a wash bag. If that helps, Podrick, but that's what I had as a wash bag anyway. We weren't actually issued anything. That brush is awesome. It may even solve my ball patch. I'm not far off you. I'm actually, although I have very light blonde hair when it's long. If you can see it there, so people are like, "You're going bald." No, I'm not. I just have light hair. So yeah, but they're very good, and you can pick them. You can find them easy enough. I need to get a haircut. Oh. I make up wash rolls to suit various directions I collect and are interested in. I have a First World War One that I'm putting together. If I open my drawer again, but I need to change some bits and pieces in. I'm not 100% sure of the colour of the actual wash roll, because I believe they were like a lighter green. But this is the start of it. So I have my fork, my knife, my spoon. It should all be here, but for some reason they keep falling out. Now this is a reproduction. My toothbrush just fell on the floor. If I can find it. Sorry guys, I do have a toothbrush for this. It's just fell on the floor, so I have to get it. It's the same as I have for my World War II. It's just a timber handle one. Do I have a spare one in here actually that I can show you? Thought I had a spare one. Maybe not. No. Try not to jig the camera around too much. So yeah, so here's so it is reproduction, and it's stamped there 1914. Yeah. I have a button stick, which I'm not 100% sure of. I have another button stick here that would have been taken out in the middle of the war. Brown laces, cutlery, straight edge razor in a box, carbolic soap, which every man should have one. I do need to get a few bits and pieces for this. I need to get toothpaste. I need to get a wobble brush or a wobbler. There's the cutthroat razor out of the box. It's actually a bit sharp, but I need to get I need to start working on this again and hopefully complete it for a World War II or a World War One impression. I like putting, because the uniforms and stuff like that come together a lot quicker. Like, it's easy to get a uniform and stuff. It's the small little pieces like this. This is what I like putting together. I actually have a handkerchief, and if you can read the stamp on it here. There you go. I don't know if that stamp will show up. There's a stamp there on it anyway. But if you look here on the hem of it, you'll see RMF, which is a stamp as well. And it's Royal Munster Fusiliers. And this is original. And the reason I know this is original is because there's actually stains in it. There's snot stains in it down here. But when I was given my great-grandfather's crucifix, which is this, which is Royal Munster Fusiliers, it was wrapped in this. And that's the way it was given to me. So I presume after my grandfather had it made or whatever, whether he carried it with him in France or my great-grandfather carried it with him in France, I will never know because I never got to meet the man. But that's how it came to me. So I presume that's how he had it covered or wrapped. Just a little interesting thing. But and I have it wrapped always in this as well. Just as a sentimental thing on it. But if I can read you that stamp, it says OIC Records, 4th August 1914 is the stamp on it. And there's an arrowhead over the top of it as well. It's just a little interesting piece. Sorry, I'm just going to wrap this up again. Now, what are grooming standards like? Usually see a lot of lads in the FCA going mad with beards, sideburns. You can have a beard if you have medical exemption. Sideburns, no, have to have your hair high and tight like mine. It's pretty much no at the minute. Shave every day unless you have a medical exemption as well. But you have to, grooming standards are fairly high. You're inspected every morning. Make sure your boots are polished, clean and tidy, stuff like that. But yeah, the FCA or the RDF have a slightly leeway to get away with a few bits and pieces that we don't, because they have the reservists, they have regular jobs and stuff like that. But generally, when they're on active service or when they're away at camp with the military, they're the same standards as us. That's a great reproduction. Oh, you're on about the wash roll, yeah. Your light respirator design with raised section is post-war. The extended nose is not a World War II feature. Your mask was improved over World War II design. The extended front has a metal drum ring inside. That's cool. Thanks very much. I know a bit more history about it now, which is perfect. British, Soviet, Italiano, Royal Army, Yugoslavia before unpleasantness Coast Royal Army, DDR, and CSSR. That's a mouthful and a half. That's awesome. What a gift from your great grandfather. Yeah, it was my grandmother, his daughter, who was my grandmother, that actually gave it to me. Are you starting a World War One uniform? I eventually will. I used to collect World War One. I used to do World War One impression, um, but unfortunately I let it go, and I need to get back at it and stuff like that. I have other bits and pieces belong to him. I have his original collar dogs. If I can find in my insignia bag, I have them here. Some, yeah. So there's one of them. Now these are the early, because my great grandfather was a professional soldier. He was in India. Where's the other one? He was in India and he was in South Africa with them. He was in India in 1902 and he was in the Boer War, and he had just, I can't remember if he had retired or the other one is in here somewhere now. I know it's here. So I seen it the other day. Empty it out quick and have a quick look. What is it with me singing today? Right, I'll find it again. It's in here anyway somewhere. I know it's in here. But he was in India in 1902. He was in the Boer War, second one. And that is the early war. You will see the Royal Munster Fusiliers shoulder badge. Later on in the war, when brass and stuff started to get less plentiful, shall we say, they literally just had the flaming grenade, and they had an M and an F. They weren't joined, so they were all individual pieces. But that is an early war Munster Fusiliers shoulder epaulet badge. There you go. I find personal kit adds to the interest in a military display, showing how the soldier coped in the field, and is not too expensive because you can add period commercial items. Yeah, exactly. That's a very, very good thing. Well, it's a good statement actually. There, military collectibles. Nice family history. Yeah, it is good family history. Then his son, who would be my grandmother's brother, and my grandfather, the woman or the man my grandmother married, they were all in World War Two. One was Irish Guards, one was in Skilling Fusiliers, I think. Yeah, I have to double check that history, but I know one was Irish Guards, and so Boer War Monument was up about Wendover, near where I lived. Oh, cool. During World War One, they took old soldiers up to 45, I believe. Well, he came back from. It's funny, it's weird, and it's interesting family history too at the same time. He actually fought in 4 wars, as he says himself, or the family history goes. He was a young soldier in Africa. I think he was only maybe 14 or 15. Then he went to India. Then when he came back from India, he was stationed in a depot um, in England. Then he wanted to come back to Ireland, so he took a posting in a territorial or a unit or something like that. I can't remember. It was a reserve unit. And when he was back here, he was a corporal, or sorry, he was a sergeant. And then when the First World War started, he got sent back to France. He was involved in Mons. He was in the Battle of Mons, Loos. He was injured just after Loos, I believe. He took story is he took shrapnel in the shoulder. He was back in England, and he was instructing after he had done his rehabilitation and stuff like that. He went back to France, and then he fought the rest of the war in France again. Then I believe around 1916, 17, all the way up until the end of the war. He did have two wound bears, so I'm not 100% sure how he was wounded the first time or the second time, but I know the first time was around the retreat from Luz or Mons, around that time anyway, and got him back to England. He ended up getting back to England, and then he was an instructor for a while, and then he went back. So that I do know of the family history. Um, I family ties to the Munster Fusiliers as well. Great great grandfather met his wife overseas in India. She was a nurse. Very cool. Was in Gallipoli and on the Western Front. I'm not sure if my grandfather was in Gallipoli because when I went to check his records, unfortunately, I have some of his records, but I don't have them all. He was 2nd Battalion, so he possibly could have been, but his records were destroyed during the Blitz, so there's only some parts of it, which would make sense in relation to family history. So because he was an old soldier, when they took lads to Gallipoli, the battalion that was going to Gallipoli had got such a beating from Luz and Mons that they took professional soldiers and senior soldiers out of the other battalion to bolster it when it went to Gallipoli. So he possibly could have gotten his second wound stripe in Gallipoli, and that's how he ended up back in England. I don't know, but we do know he ended up in England as a sergeant after being injured as an instructor, and then he went back to France in 17, I believe, without looking at the top of my head, off the top of my head. Went back to France in 1917, and then fought the rest of the war. Then, but then, so this is the history now. So he remember this now. So he'd been in India. Sorry, first of all, he'd been in South Africa. He was in India in 1902, and then he was in the First World War. When he arrived home back here, family history goes, he was approached by the IRA because Irish Republican Army at that stage were going absolutely hell for leather, fighting the War of Independence, and he decided, okay, I'm not fighting the war anymore. I've done my time. I've done my fighting. I've had enough. Right. Apparently he got in trouble, or he didn't get in trouble, but he was accosted by some black and tans. Took a bit of a beating, and he decided, okay, I'm not going to fight, but I will show you and I will train you how to work weapons and stuff if you do capture them. So that's what he did. So the funny thing about it was family history goes, or family stories goes, he would go down to the post office of a Wednesday and he would collect his British Army pension. He would go down to the post office of a Friday and he would collect his IRA pension, and he'd drink the weekend dinner, or he'd go out of a Sunday and he'd have a few pints on both the Queen and the Irish. So that was the family story. Where we gone was in Gallipoli, the Western Front. Again, we must do SS River Clyde display joint. Exactly, yeah, we must do that. If any of you don't know, the River Clyde was the ship, makeshift ship that basically they cut two holes in the side of it, and they told the Munster Fusiliers charge out the side of it, and they got lamped. But yeah, so that was the River Clyde. That was in Gallipoli. My grandfather was a Royal Scot at Gallipoli, sergeant, and later the Somme. I have a couple of his medals in my keeping. Very good, very interesting. Family history like that, it's very nice. I like the family history stuff. But unfortunately, not everyone keeps the family history. Would be nice to have a reenactor group in the south of the country. I've been researching South Irish Horse and the Munster Fusiliers for possible impressions. There is a living history group in the south called the Irish Great War Society. They're a good bunch of guys. I did work with them before. I don't know if they're still going, but they were there, the Irish Great War Society. So if you look them up, you might be able to liaise with them and see can they figure out something for you. So while we're chatting, guys, I'm just going to put all this stuff away and see do I come across anything interesting. that we can chat about. I doubt it, but oh, there we go. There's the other one of them. So there's one. Where did I put the other one now? Jeez, isn't that weird? You find one and you show it, and then you go, oh, where's the other one? And then when you look for the other one, then you can't find it, and you had it in your hand 2 seconds ago. So there's my name badge from when I was a serving member, or a name tape as they're called. Haha, found it. There's the second one. So there you go. So there's the two of them together. I can grab them without showing them. There you go. The nameplate of the River Clyde in the Hampshire Regimental Museum. Oh, cool! I'd love to go see that actually. I've an almost complete emergency uniform at the moment, waiting on my trousers and a few pieces of 37 pattern. If any of you don't know what the emergency is, what he's talking about there, guys, the emergency is what Ireland was known as World War II. Yeah, then you for your service, my friend. Yeah, then you for your service, my friend. Oh, does that mean thank you for my service? I don't look. You don't have to thank me. I enjoyed absolutely every single minute of it. When I was in the service of the great nation that we now call Ireland. I had to do an awful lot of drinking when I was in the service. But doesn't every serviceman, I suppose, when he's a member of the Defence Forces or a member of the Army, sort of frowned upon if you don't drink a lot, really. Kids don't drink a lot. It's bad. It's not a very smart thing to do. And just because you're a soldier doesn't mean you have to drink Loch Erin dry. Okay. And if any of you don't know what Loch Erin is the biggest lake in Ireland, guys. So there you go. No, that's everything cleaned up. Put them away. Put that back in the shelving unit. No. In the Army, thank you. Don't worry about it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Converted the Swedish wool tunic to the Irish tunic. Very cool. Very cool. Drinking is common. Yes, drinking is very common in the Army, unfortunately. But thankfully, it's actually changed. The drinking culture isn't the same as it used to be. So, guys, it is 9:28. So I've given you an hour, just under an hour. So I'll give you 5 minutes there if you want to shoot any more questions at me, because it is Sunday. I do have to get ready for normal life again tomorrow and stuff like that. So I'll give you 5 minutes there if you want to shoot some questions at me, and we'll see what happens. There was a Malayan emergency too. My dad was a Bren gunner in that during the 1950s, fighting communism. Yeah, you have the Malayan emergency, I suppose. The emergency in Ireland was World War II. In the words of Father Jack, drink. Yeah, Jack Sams is one of the kings of. Jack Sams is one of the kings of Irish World War II reenacting. I believe his group has custom-made uniforms based off the National Archives. Don't know him. I didn't come across him when I was reenacting in Ireland. I'm sure he's very good, but I didn't come across him yet. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not a good guy. So, guys, it is an hour. So what I'm going to do is, love my break. So I'm going to give you all a thumbs up. Have a safe week, a good week, and with the new camera now, even though the sound is bad, we do have a backup plan for the live stream on next Friday. So we will be back to the normal time next Friday at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, we will be back to regular commercial, as they say. So have a safe week, lads, and enjoy yourself. And I'll see you all next week. Do you prefer Scotch whiskey or Irish whiskey? It's a valid point, as both are awesome. Jameson's, best Irish whiskey you can get. Brewed in Middleton, County Cork. There's a free advert there now. YouTube, this is not a sponsored video, so don't lose your patience. Alright guys, have a good one, and I'll see you all next week.